For most people, every bad meeting, night stock, working late, or disappointing race triggers the thought of a job for life. I believe it's fair to say that many people, if given the choice, would not choose to spend 8 hours or more 5 days a week at the job they're currently in. But most people simply will due to the fact that they have no other choice. It's for this reason that more and more people these days are devising strategies to escape the working world early by retiring, but I believe that understanding what's waiting for you at the finish line is absolutely essential. As such, what's waiting for you upon your last day of work? Good question. First, there's time autonomy. Being able to spend your time however you want is one of life's ultimate luxuries. That free time gives you the opportunity to concentrate on your health or simply broaden your knowledge by reading more books. Basically, as long as you're doing something you enjoy, you're making good use of your time, and retiring early will almost certainly reduce your stress level. For example, have you ever taken the time to compare how you feel on weekends versus throughout the work week? I'm not sure about you, but whenever I'm off the clock, I feel a huge sense of relief knowing that there's no chance someone will email or call me with a pressing work emergency, and that I can literally do anything I want at any time. Whereas for more than 40 or more hours per week, I'm in a constant state of anxiety. Can you guess which of these two scenarios I and many other people would prefer as their day-to-day norm? Then there are the things you'll be leaving behind when you retire, such as the workplace drama that never seems to end, the disappointment caused by embarrassingly low raises, and having to deal with people like you'd rather not work with again. If you have a colleague you simply cannot stand, make sure to hit that like button below because they'll be out of your life before you know it. If you already know you want to retire early, these benefits are just reminders of what's waiting around the corner for most people. What they need to pull this off is a plan, and as such, I want to share with you the retirement path that 99% of people will find themselves taking, and then 2 alternatives that I know you'll find appealing. Let's follow the journey of an average person in the United States who goes to college, graduates, gets a job, and immediately begins saving for retirement. For this new grad, they're likely to start their career with a salary of $40,000 after living expenses and repaying part of their student debt. This person will contribute roughly 10% of their after-tax income for the next 20 years until their student loans are finally paid off. Assuming a 7% rate of return after investment, for just 40 years, our hardworking friend would have saved just over $1.1 million. But before you rush off to the party store to celebrate this newly minted millionaire, consider whether that will even be something to celebrate 4 decades from now. See, one misconception that most people have when planning for retirement is that whatever the value of their money is today is what it will be in the future. I simply wrote out how much you may fairly anticipate to have in real dollars once everything is said and done, using a $1.1 million scenario. I just told you that after more than 40 years of labor, you'd have just over $300,000 to your name. I had to do a double take when I learned how crippling nation may be on obtaining early retirement when I read the book The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco. Not only did this book teach me this critical financial lesson, but it also taught me how to accelerate my path to financial freedom, reclaim my time, and ultimately my autonomy. If you haven't read this book yet, you are seriously missing out. This won't be you because you'll be deploying one of the 2 approaches I'm about to share. The first approach you can take to retire early is to amass enough money other than the nest egg to live off of the rest of your life. This is basically the same as the example I just shared, but as you can see, the amount you'll need to retire is probably most people adopt the incorrect approach to accelerating their journey to early retirement by merely cutting back on their costs. This approach is commonly seen in the financial independence, retire early, or FIRE community, and while there is merit to living frugally on the path to retiring or hiring early, it's probably not going to move the needle as much as you think. For example, if you started at 22 and wanted to retire at 50, you would need to invest $2,000 per month to make this happen, and chances are you don't currently spend enough to generate this level of contribution alone. For most people, earning an extra $1,000 or more each month would simply include taking on some extra part-time employment or closing one extra client per month. I understand that either circumstance is pushing you further away from achieving a suitable work-life balance, but that balance will undoubtedly be restored once you no longer need to work. While this approach to retirement has long been relied on, there are 2 distinct issues that must be addressed. First, you may not be earning enough money to invest $2,000 per month. In fact, the median individual income in the United States in 2021 was just under $45,000 per year. So unless you're investing more than 50% of your after-tax income every month, chances are you'll return at 50 using the previously stated time. I'm not one to limit people's potential, but I think we can both agree that investing this amount of money per month is simply out of most people's reach. Therefore, if you don't have the time to retire early, you should pursue a different route. If you ask me, this approach can be deployed at any age and have you retired within the next 3 to 5 years. Let me explain how you will pull this off. When you look at retirement as a concept, it simply means no longer trading your time for money, which is what this next approach will allow you to achieve. I advocate that most individuals leverage the power of the internet and live off a passive online business to escape the 9-to-5 world and never trade time for money again. I understand that for older individuals, the idea of living completely on online income may seem a little far-fetched, but your alternative is working for the next 40 years only to price match products at Walmart well into your 90s, so bear with me. The first step in building an online business that will support your dream of retiring early is to research which business models interest you the most. As someone who has built multiple online businesses, I can tell you firsthand that if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it will be nearly impossible to succeed. Content development, e-commerce, and other similar possibilities are available to you when it comes to internet enterprises. This main factor, aside from your level of interest, is whether the business can be automated, which of course things like blogs and drop shipping stores can be. Next, you'll need to find the time to actually start building the business, because unless you have the money to pay someone right away, you'll have to do most of the work yourself. Your online business will most likely do two things. First, it will generate more income than your job is likely to pay you, which is great because it makes quitting that much easier. Second, it will now allow you to live the life of early retirement rather than having to have millions of dollars stashed away because you're living off the profits it generates every month. The final step in this process is to incorporate an element of safety into your retirement plan by continuing to live frugally and investing your disposable income assets. This will help mitigate any slowdowns in your business and give you peace of mind that you will never have to return to work again. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on bell notification for more content like this.